There we go. Test, test. Blue whale. Oh, shit. We're good, man. We're good. The audio should be working. No problem. Not bad. My man Bo's in the building. Dude, I didn't even get to see the game last night, which is unfortunate. I literally went to bed before the game started, but I woke up. That's the first thing I looked at. The first thing I get up and I'm like, okay, I got to check ESPN. I wouldn't say I was nervous. I really did expect to wake up to a dub, but I checked ESPN immediately. That's what I woke up to. So that was exciting. That was beautiful. Okay. Ooh, man, there was something about a 13-0. And then I'm reading all the stats today. First time ever, 13-0. I'm like, I guess that does make sense. But that's pretty awesome. And then I see the thing on Bleacher Report. You guys may have saw it. I put it in the community. NFL teams doing their homework on Jim Harbaugh. I don't know if this is legit or not, but I'm just like, come on. I mean, come on. Like, oh, now all of a sudden, like, Anyway, that's all topic, guys. We got a game today. Shout out to Tyson in the building. JT, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that, man, J-Mo. What I've read. All right, we'll talk about it. 1 sec. We got John Wolf. He says, on Mutt. Okay, I think you're playing Madden. I see you, John. What up, Tyson? What up, DJ? The Truth. I did send Rad a link. We'll see if he joins. This show's not going to be very long because the game starts at 1, of course. I'm not going to roll into the game. At least today I'm not going to. But we did not do a show yesterday. I had to go to bed super early, so I didn't do a show yesterday. So I was like, all right, let's just try to do one before the game. And here we are. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to see as much as the Jags as I would like to, but I think I have I wouldn't say I have a great sense of them, but I know some things about this team that we can at least discuss for 20 minutes without me going like, hey, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So yes, let's talk about that immediately because you guys are already throwing in the chat. So let's not waste any time. My bad. I'm sorry. We're just sitting here talking. Okay, I'm going to throw it up. This is the Lions Inactives. I guess brought to you by whoever that. This is the Lions Inact. Now we're on StreamYards. I did this in case Brad wants to join. So, that's why it looks like this. But you guys see it. Let's roll through it real quick. Michael Brockers. I see you, Will Smith. Okay, Will Smith in the building. What are we doing? T reacted. J-Mo will sit up. So you see it. Michael Brockers, healthy scratch. My man just put it in there. Evan Brown. That's a big one. That's unfortunate. So KO'd or Skipper. Chat, put a 1 if you think KO'd gets the nod at right guard. Put a 2 if you think it's Dan Skipper. All right. Who's the chat feeling? Who do they think they play today? It's been Dan Skipper. And hopefully I'm not glitching off. I'm lagging out. Let me know. It's been Dan Skipper that's usually been put in that place. But last week, of course, we didn't have either guard. So they put Skipper at left guard and they put KO'd at right guard. It was not beautiful for Skipper. And I think he is more comfortable at right guard. But I think it's KO'd after last week. All right. We got a lot of 2s in there. We got a lot of 2. I don't remember what the numbers were. I don't remember. I'm sorry. One was KO'd, right? Yes, one was KO'd. Okay. A lot of people think it's Skipper. All right. That's where y'all are at with it. I could see it for sure. I think they go KO'd, but I don't know. But you do see Logan Stenberg still inactive, which I'm just sitting here like, what's happening? What is this? I'm not going to go down that road again. Tom Kennedy, healthy scratch. That's kind of awesome. It's not awesome. I like Tom Kennedy. We all like Tom Kennedy, but it is kind of awesome. And that leads us into something that we have to discuss, chat, which is Jamison Williams, who is making his debut today. Now, I say that not knowing how much he's going to play. Here's all I've read, and I read this and I was kind of sad by it, but at the same time, it's kind of what I anticipated once we found out he would play, and that's that Jamison Williams will be on a very limited snap count, according to, I think Ian Rappaport put that out there. Very limited snap count. So I guess don't expect a ton from him. And if we know anything about these last few weeks, they didn't even announce that, like, for example, DJ Chark was on a limited snap count or Josh Reynolds on a limited snap count, but they were, and we barely saw them. We saw them for like 5 snaps or something like that. They really didn't do much when they were limited. So I don't know if that's what they mean, if it's going to be like that treatment, or if it's going to be like, hey, he's limited, but he's also healthy. So it's like sort of limited, like Swift limited, where it's like maybe he gets 9-10 snaps. Maybe he gets a couple targets. I'm not sure. But as you know, he is active. And with having Tom Kennedy inactive, maybe we see him a little bit. I'll say this. I didn't expect him to even be up for this game. Chat, I don't know. Were you guys right? Y'all saying Houston? Okay, we're going to touch on that. I didn't expect him to be up for this game. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh my goodness. Because everything Campbell said did not sound like he was going to play this week. Everything that he put out there did not sound like he was going to play this week. And everything felt like next week. And then all of a sudden, boom. Oh, wait, he's off the list. Now, they could have done that and still not played him, just like Romeo Okwara. As you see, he's inactive for this one. So he's not there yet, but he's also off the list, which means that he will start showing up on injury reports just like J-Mo next week. I guess the big thing here is that Josh Pascal's healthy. Josh Pascal probably will get the start today, but John Kaminsky has been a dog. And the Lions have gotten very creative with how they're using their defense line. I think they've really, really started to dial it in. So I wonder a little bit if Kaminsky gets the start. I doubt it. It's usually been Pascal and healthy, but I'm just saying that. We also know Julian hit IR, which is very unfortunate to get one and lose the other. I remember he hurt himself on that pass rush. What was his elbow? Amani's a healthy scratch, and then, like we said, Logan Stenberg. So my man says six snaps. Is that the over-under, 6 snaps? I think that's a fair over-under. I would take the under. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I just don't think we're going to see him much. But I don't think you need to see him much. You know what we need? I mean, it would be fantastic if, like, the very first play of the game, they just put him out there and threw it up to him. Look, don't care what happens. That's the only play we need to just throw it up one time. Just because all it's going to do, even if it's incomplete, is going to get everybody hyped. You know that it will. The entire chat is going to go, not the chat, I'm losing it. The entire crowd stadium is going to go crazy if you just throw it up to Jamison Williams as soon as he walks out there. But maybe he's playing more than that. And yes, playing with the Jags' mind. See, that's what I thought of that immediately, JT. I thought as soon as I saw that he was active, I was like, oh, they didn't really tell you this. Like, if you're the Jaguars, I'm sitting back not thinking he's going to play. And now it's like, okay, I don't know what we're going to get. So it's interesting, right? Because how much do you throw out there if you're saying, well, he's limited, he's only going to play a few snaps anyway? How much do you want to put out there of how we're going to utilize Jamison Williams? Because like Ben John said, we had a clear plan going back to the spring. How much do you want to put out there knowing that you have the Vikings at home next week? Right? I mean, do you want to show like, oh, this is how we use the guy? I'm not saying you can't use him different ways just because you use him this week. Just an interesting thing, though. I don't expect to see a ton, but maybe we do. I don't know. The Lions are putting him J-Mo Gunner. Look, that's where we'll get a snap. Hey, you can put him on special teams. I mean, look, maybe they like to do that. I don't know if they're starting KO. I just brought that up because he did last week, and Dan Skipper was at left guard, and he wasn't good. But I thought he was better than Dan Skipper, which isn't. They both didn't play well, and I'm rooting for those guys. I want them to be better, but we'll see. We'll see. Yes, Josh Pascal. So expecting that he'll start, I think he start today. So that's the big news there. I don't know. Let's do this real quick, and we'll see. You said under 6 snaps. Let's do it. Put a 1 if you think Jamison Williams has less than 6 total snaps. That's including special teams. I don't think he'll play on special teams. Less than 6, 1. Put a 2 for more than 6 because there's some hype out there. And if he was playing like full on playing, I get it. But let's talk about this real quick, though. Here's some interesting stuff because we're hitting on that. In James Houston, we got to hit on that. But I think this is interesting. There's a lot of guys, of course, in this one, not just players that have a connection with each other. Of course, you have the Jaguars have Marvin Jones Jr. and the Lions have DJ Chark. So that's the obvious one, right? Okay, the 2 top receivers. This feels like a DJ Chark takeoff kind of game. I just get that vibe. But then there's also, I don't know if this is still true. I was reading up on their team, trying to learn who coaches there. Jim Bob Cooter is their pass game coordinator. Look, so we got a lot of 2s. Twos was over, right? A lot of optimism. I love it. Okay, Bo ain't feeling it. A lot of optimism, though. I like it. The new punt. Hey, new punter, new punt returner. You could do that. You could do that. If he comes out there and does the first kickoff return, just tell him don't return it. Just let it bounce the end zone or take a knee. Because they won't kick it to you. I guarantee that. I hope Aiden possessed a light game to tune of 3 sacks. That'd be fantastic. I mean, I would love to see that just to see him get the numbers. Yeah, Jim Bob Cooter, I'm pretty sure is their pass game coordinator. I actually read that this morning. I was like, whoa, what? So there's more connection there than I thought. I will say about this Jags team, JBC, baby. Oh, snap. And you know what's crazy, though? Like, this Jags team, we know they got Doug Peterson. He's pretty good at what he does. They look really schematically, they look super, super good. I mean, that's like the first thing I took away. At least I've only seen some of I've only watched the Ravens all 22 and what was the last one? Chiefs. I watched those 2. And I'm just like, ooh, they're creative offensively. It doesn't look crazy for Trevor Lawrence what they're asking of him, but it's like this is Trevor Lawrence's offense. You can kind of get that vibe. Like, this is his offense, man. And Travis Etienne he's tough. And here's another little note. CJ Henderson, we'll move to the Jags side. CJ Henderson is inactive today, who I think they recently just picked off of claims, right? From the Rams. So that I would expect that he's not only healthy, he's going to get a pretty big workload as I'm pulling their side up. I don't think there's any big news that we need to hit on this side, but I will. Let's see. I don't think there's any big things here. Yeah, we got okay, Darrell Henderson's probably the biggest one. I'm going to throw this on the screen, though, for anybody that's interested. Yeah, Daryl Henderson. Cisco's probably. Okay. Actually, there's a couple big ones on there. So Herndon, who is their outside cornerback, he's not a starter, right? I don't know. See, I was watching, and I think he is like one of their outside cornerbacks that are a starter. Here's an interesting thing. So I was watching them. Darius Williams is their slot corner. I didn't realize that. Darius Williams is the slot corner on this team. He was Rams corner last season, very undersized on the outside, but they put him in a slot. And I'm like, oh, I really like that. It looks good. It really does. But maybe we see him a little bit on the outside. I couldn't tell if they're using him a lot more on the outside or not with some of their injuries. They, of course, have Tyson Campbell. He's like their top guy on the outside. And they also have Brown there, but I think he's like banged up. So he may get them down on the outside. If he plays on the outside, I would circle that guy. I don't love their corners, but I like their defense. I really like their defense. I see it. My man, he said our O-line and D-line wins this game. That is a battle today. And it always feels like we say that, but I think specifically when you look at this Jaguars defense, and I won't even just pinpoint it just to D-line though. Like this entire defense is nice, man. We know they got some young backers, Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma holding it down. Okay, they got Alua Khan in there as well. They got a lot of speed there, good athletes. And then at the front, they have Dan Campbell said it best. They have good depth. They have really good depth. They got some run stoppers. This is one of the better run stopping teams, I think, out there. Just in consistency, they're pretty good at stopping the run. So I wonder what that's going to look like. I'm just very curious to see the battle here with Ben Johnson because this is a pretty well-rounded defense. Like their secondary is not bad. They're pretty physical. And then their front, they stop the run really well. Here's some numbers. They're 10th in yards per carry allowed. They're 15th in yards per game, so that's above average. Against the pass, they're 13th in passer rating allowed. They have allowed 17 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, which is the big one there, of course. 62% completion percentage, which is 10th in the league. And then the biggest thing I took away from their defense statistics is that they're 25th on third down, so that is an issue. That is an issue. But the interceptions, they'll turn you over. So that's always been huge for these last few weeks for us. He said, heck, Peterson won a chip with Eagles. He can definitely coach. Yeah, this is a good coach. Like, if you came in here and said, hey, pick out the good, this is a good coach for me, I think definitely. And I think he's shown that so far, the turnaround that they've had after a messed up last season. They've done really well to this point. We know they just beat the Ravens. This is a good coach. So that's why I'm like looking at this as a very good challenge. Like his defensive coordinator was with him in Philly. So there's that connection there. Their offense coordinator, they're both new. But they're really sound. Like they do like the trips formations, and they're very creative with how they use three receivers on one side to try to open up lanes. RPO is a little part of this. The RPO game is a little bit of a part of this. Quick screens, things like that. But they seem smart. They don't seem out schemed from the games that I saw against Chiefs and Ravens. They seem to be right where they needed to be. They just, sometimes you don't always get the plays. So this is gonna be tough. And at this point, you're more of a cheerleader than an actual coach. Wait, what happened? Oh, okay. I missed. Okay, something else. They're going to stop in the run, and when it's not our line, they're going to get Khabib smashed all day. I love that. And the biggest one, of course, is not having our right guard because that was awful. Look, it hurt us last week a lot. Not having that right guard in there. And I'll flip it, though. I'll flip it and say this. So, quick note on their defense. Pass rush win rate, this is an ESPN stat, 46% for this defense. That's 7th in the league. It's going to be very important that you pass protect pretty well here and you try to win that battle, especially when you're in obvious pass downs. That seems obvious, but from what I've seen, they seem to like to really roll their safety down a lot. I've seen a lot of cover 3 from this defense. Statistically, they don't play a ton of man coverage, only about a quarter of the time that they play man coverage defensively. So there's going to be holes, but they are aggressive. They're very aggressive. Now, you flip it, though, their offensive line, I don't think is very good, man. I don't want to say it's bad. I don't think it's like this is the weakness of the O-line, that's the guy. But it's not very good either. You flip it around again. Pass protection win rate, they're near the bottom of the league. I think across the board, they're just kind of okay. There's inconsistencies. They got Cam Robinson at left tackle. They got Juwan Taylor at right tackle. But then on the interiors where, you got Fortner starting at center. Brandon Sheriff, who's a pretty solid right guard. He's solid. But the interior is a little, it's just kind of middle of the pack for me. I think that this O-line is just middle of the pack at best, probably below average. So it's similar maybe to last week in that sense that I felt like our D-line won the battle, and it could absolutely happen again today. And that could be the game changer. Because ETN, what I noticed is that like they're gonna get it to. He's gonna get some quick hitters. You're gonna get some very quick hitters, and it's gonna stress everybody containing the edge in this game, which has been something we've had to do. But it's different when it's quarterback versus running back. It's one thing to have rush lanes, another thing to stop a running back from getting to the edge. That's a whole different ball game. So I'm just interested to see how we offensively. I want to see how we get creative to make this thing happen, because that is going to be a massive battle on the D line. Good depth. 2 solid edge rushers. We know they got Trayvon Walker, so that's probably going to be a storyline, right? Trayvon versus Hutchinson. You guys may have been putting that in there. Trayvon, and they got Josh Allen. They got two long dogs on the edge. They don't get 2 long dogs on the edge, and then the interior, it's solid. It's solid. I really like their depth. Like Dwayne Smoot's a backup for them. You know, Gotsis is a backup for them. Well, Marvin Jones have a TD against Detroit. That's a good one. I hope not. I would say yeah. I would probably. I would say probably. Now that's the interesting part, though. Obviously, we see that there is no Amani today, so that speaks to Jeff being healthy, Jerry being healthy, and Mike Hughes being healthy. Mike Hughes also playing really well on the outside. To the extent today, I get they've been starting. I would start Mike Hughes on the outside. Now the difference is they got some physicality, and when they do line Christian Kirk on the outside, Mike Hughes will probably be best to match up with that. And I don't think he'll follow, but I think that would be a good matchup for him. But at the same time, Zay Jones, Marvin, they got some size. Jerry Jacobs may match up best there, as well as Jeff Okudah. I think the matchup is going to be interesting on the edge. But Mike Hughes has been playing really well. What's up, the Dern? We are going to have to send help to the right side. Yes. Like last week, and it was interesting watching it back. Like I felt like last week, you look at that 3rd down decision, and one thing that stuck with me, I think Ben Johnson said after the game, like they came in with a game plan to be super aggressive offensively, and they felt like that kept them in the game, which, yeah, they were aggressive. They were pretty aggressive offensively, and they were willing to say, look, we're missing a couple guards, but we're going to stand in there. And that safety stuck out to me because they said, look, on 3rd and 14, they dropped back into the end zone with that, and it was like, okay, that time it bit you. But they were aggressive for the most part of the day. They did some trick plays that didn't always work, but they tried. So they got by last week. They did, and then we know Vaughn went out. But this defensive pass rush, I don't think there's a guy, I mean, aside from Josh Allen, he's a dog, and he'll probably get a lot of those matchups on the right side. But they got a good depth going there. I like how fast their linebackers are. Who live streaming the game? What network? I would think it's on Fox. I don't know. I'm going to be, but I don't know what network. Keys to success. Feed Swift, play JMO. Yeah, I mean, we're all excited for it. The over-under 6 snaps. So, I mean, there was a lot of overs. I feel like there's a lot of optimism that he's going to play a lot. I think that was a report from Ian Rappaport. I don't know if that was who it was from, but that's what I read, that they said he would be very limited today. So, I don't know what that means, really. Everybody's just going to be excited, though, that he's out there. I would assume that. I'm looking at this because you take a look at the Jaguars offense, man, and they run the ball well. And you got Trevor Lawrence, who's been playing well these last few weeks. I don't love their offensive line, again, like I said, so that's the place I would circle. Say, okay, we can win a couple here. They got good receivers. And what's interesting is that this Jaguars team has not seen much man this season. This Jaguars team has faced 27% of the time man coverage, and we're still one of the most man-heavy teams in football. Actually, last few weeks, the man's been coming back even more. It's like up near 50% again. Like, we play so much man coverage defensively. So does it shift because we've seen it shift this year out of that, or do we continue to be aggressive and play to how we want to play? And now, aggressively, you could still do that in zone, but does it shift a little bit with these receivers that they have? You could still do like what their game plan was against Dolphins. Hey, we have to play zone. But their idea was we wanted to be physical at the line. So we want to press and then let them get by, different zone coverages. We could do that today. We definitely could. And then you're looking for that D-line to win. That would be probably a key that I would look to, right? You get physical early in the routes. But that's the thing. They're creative, man. They're creative. They'll move the pocket. They'll get Lawrence design rollouts. It's a well-coached team. I mean, that's the thing that's going to be so interesting about this one. Because if we win this game, you come away, look at this, say, man, we beat a really well-coached team. I don't care what their record is, man. It's a well-coached team. Jags O-line versus Lions O-line. Yes, that's facts. I think that's facts. Jamal going to get 100-plus yards, 2 touchdowns, 25 carries. Jim, we're going to have a bomb tutty. Y'all are on it, man. Y'all are on it, man. So, what's up, the bulletproofed? What was my question? I forgot what it was. I forgot what my question was going to be. Oh, yeah. No, not a question. Guys, I want everybody in the chat right now to give me your player to watch for the day. Maybe the player you think takes off. Maybe the guy you're like, that's the key guy for today. Give me one player to watch for the Lions side, because I know we got mostly Lions fans probably in here. The Lions player I got, I feel like this is going to be over. I have to put DJ Chark, though. I part of me wants to say St. Brown because I think physically he can win that matchup. I do. But I gotta sit here and say it's gotta be DJ Chark today. I think it just you get that feel. There you go, Bo. You get that feel that DJ's due to break out, and I think you saw how important he was last week. I just have the sense on the outside someone's gonna win, and it's gonna be that guy. Like he's gonna light it up today. I think this is gonna be his best game as a Lion. At this point, we know he's completely basically healthy because he's actually playing. Josh Reynolds, who I would expect to get the start, and then they may mix in JMO a little bit. We'll see how much they play him. Opposite of him, I think DJ's gonna be big time today. Now they may come in and say, "Look, we got to prepare for that guy," but I don't think so, man. I think DJ's the dude for me. What up, Dwayne? Kirby and Aiden. What's up, Speakeasy? Kirby and Aiden. I rock with it. Penne on Walker too. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, even the big, they're going to rotate, but I think even the big one there is going to be Josh Allen. From what I've seen, I may not seen enough. I saw Josh Allen line a lot against the right tackle, so I would think we'd see that, but you might be right. They may switch it up. Whoever has Josh Allen, they're going to be in for it because this dude's tough. Like, he don't just stop. He gets after it. I would say he's their best pass rusher for sure. But yes, the young guy, what he does against the run, they just got dudes in the front. This whole defensive front's tough. Like I said, they're aggressive. They'll play pretty heavy boxes. Obviously, against the Ravens did that, but even the Chiefs, they played pretty heavy in the box, and they were willing to roll one safety pretty consistently from what I've seen. And that was the Chiefs. Like, you don't do that against the Chiefs. So the aggressiveness is going to be there, which could lead to big plays. At the game now in the stands, it is buzzing down here with JMO warming up. Man, that's fire. It's funny. Shout out to King Tony. Appreciate you coming in, man, from the game. That's sweet. That is sweet. You got headphones in or something? Come on, man. Banks called me from the game, man, before I jumped on here, and he was telling me, couldn't really hear him, but he was telling me about how hype he was to see Jamison out there just running routes. I'm like, dude, that's fire. Is Romeo out? I thought he was good to go. Yes, Romeo is inactive today. I thought he'd be good to go too. He was taken off the what was he on? The IR. He was on IR, right? Yeah. He was taken off of IR. So he will show up on injury reports, but he was inactive today. So he's no longer on that timer, which is good going forward. Now the good thing is that we don't have Julian, which is unfortunate. But Austin Bryant, who I felt like played pretty well last week. You guys were touching on James Houston. There you go. James Houston, what's going to be massive today is that he gives you something different. And they kind of hit on it. Like, they're not going to use him in certain areas right now. There's areas where you got to be better. And there's also his build. Like, I don't think you're going to see him out there on first down. It just, unless we're in a very big pinch, James Houston's not going to be on the field on first down. Unless it's like a 2-minute drill. Maybe. Then maybe. But he'll be something different because you don't have Julian or Charles or Romeo. He'll be something different on the third down that could be key today, just to give you a little bit more, and speed. But the biggest flexibility. But at the same time, Trevor Lawrence, while he's not Josh Allen, we know he can take off. That could be something that's huge for him because, as Aaron Glenn put it, they want their defensive ends to kind of win through guys. And they have the personnel to do that. Hutchinson, John Kaminsky, Josh Pat. Like, they're all bull rush guys on tackles. But he's the one guy that brings something a little bit different to the mix. He brings a little something different, little speed, little bendiness to the edge that the other guys don't bring. Yes, Kaminsky is playing today. It's either him or Pascal's going to get the start. I would think Pascal gets the start because usually he does. But Kaminsky's played well enough where I think he probably deserves to get the start. Obviously, he has a club on his hand, which does not help him. But he has been balling. Yes, he has been balling for us. We talk about a lot of players getting re-signed. John Kaminsky is one that has to be talked about getting re-signed. Like, maybe it's not even a question at this point. It's almost just a question of how much. How much does it take? Because this dude's playing with a messed up hand. He's got a club on his hand. He don't care. And he's still out there showing out. It's like, dude, he's still balling. So Kaminsky's coming back. That's what I'm trying to say there. Kaminsky needs to come back after this season. Swift, I want to like that. I want to believe. I do. He hasn't given me a ton of reason to believe these last few weeks, but I want to believe. He's going to be matched up, though. There's some tough dudes on that front seven. Lions use JMO as a gunner. Why now? I think that's way too early for that. Wait, so that's legit? Someone wasn't joking. They were talking for real? Well, I was just joking. I mean, we know he did it a little bit in college. That's what the Lions like to do, right? Mix their guys in through special teams. I wouldn't do that. I guess in the sense that you're like, okay, we want him to take a hit, but we don't want him to play receiver because we don't want to throw anything like, oh, hey, Vikings, this is what we're doing. I think that's kind of my thing, right? If he's going to take 7 snaps, why do you want to show a lot offensively when you could be like, this is brand new, Vikings, figure out how to deal with this guy. You use him as a gunner a few snaps, you let him get a couple hits in, you let him just be on the field a little bit. Now it's like, oh, okay, I'm getting back into football shape, but yet you haven't seen me offensively yet. That could make sense. I don't love that risk, though. I don't know if I love that risk of saying put him out there on special teams. I just don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. Swift price tag is still cheap. It is still cheap. He's still on that rookie deal. Yes, where did Kaminsky come from? Kaminsky came from Atlanta. He was released before the season began. I think he went through waivers, and the Lions had the second because of their draft pick. Lions picked him up. There was like 10 teams that put in claims for him, if I remember right. That was a huge pickup for us. He's been massive. Yeah, no, he's been massive. I mean, obviously, Ali McNeil's been huge, Hutch, but he's got a case to say, I've been the best D-line all year for you. Like, seriously, he's just been a dog. And you know what he is. Okay, where are we at? Do we want to kind of fly through it and get right to predictions? I mean, I think that's fine. This is going to be a shorter one anyway. Let's start talking numbers, man. Numbers. I see Easy in the chat. Let's do this. Let's start putting score predictions in there. What do you guys got? Score predictions. Give me a score prediction for this game. It is very risky. It's very risky. But isn't it risky to have him out there receiver too? Like with his injury, something could happen. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about like being like, hey, go try to tackle that guy, because he's still got a job. It's not like he's just out there. Like, dude, you have a responsibility. You're not getting a ton of tackles as a gunner. They usually don't get a ton of tackles, but they'll get contact and they contain. So there is a job there. It's gonna be physical as you're trying to work your way down the field. I don't know if that's the best. I mean, you can't really put him out there and be like, I don't know, man, he might get hurt. Then can you play him at receiver if you're worried about that? But at the same time, is it worth it being physical with a jammer all the way down the field for 30, 40 yards? Like, I don't know if now here's where it would be huge. A fake. I mean, you do him out there one time, then he come back with a fake, and it's like, oh, hold up, that dude's fast. He just ran by our guys. That's possible. You know, you can always set that up, you know. Hey, what do we got? We got a lot of Lions wins in here. I love it. Dwayne's got a 14-point dub. The Jags are favored in this one, by the way. The Jags are favored by 2.5 in this game. So it always makes you feel weird, like, why are they favored? But then at the same time, I kind of get it, but then I don't. You would think at home, based on how these teams have played the last few weeks, both sides, that the Lions would be favored by like 2.5. So to see the Jags, it makes me a little bit like worried, like, oh, they know something. They know something here. But I think it definitely should be tight. I understand that. And this is the game, right? My man just said it. This is the game. You're talking playoff push. This is the one. You got to get this one. You can't lose this one, I don't think. I mean, you can technically. You could lose this one and then bounce back. But this is the one. You get this one. You springboard yourself. You have games coming up where you absolutely should win. Now, the Vikings one and the Jets are the next two. And like I said in that video, I think you have to split those. I think that your best chance, you got to try to split those games. But if you lose this one, then you're going to put emphasis, you got to win both. And that's very difficult. What's up, Brandon? Appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that's in here right now. I know it's been a weird week for videos. It's kind of been weird recently for videos, but man, we're here. I wanted to go live for the Michigan game last night, but like I said, I didn't even watch the game. I slept. So, you know, let's see what predictions we got. We got 30-17. Okay, blowout win. Dang, 38-34. Lions by 7. You know what's cool too? There's definitely a difference in predictions here. We're talking about a well-coached team that's played well recently, that obviously their fans are loving Trevor Lawrence and what he's about. They got ETN healthy. They're relatively healthy. They got good receivers. And you guys are all predicting dubs. I remember weeks ago that was not the case. So I love it. The energy has definitely shifted. We got a 3-point win from Catherine. We got a 14-point win. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't think okay. I love 30-14. Like that's bold, man. Let's get a shootout. 42-38. Pick 6 by the Lions. You know, I love that. You always say like, oh, this one could be the shootout. This one definitely could be the shootout. I just think their defense is too well done. Not well done. I think their defense is pretty good, and I think it's going to give us some trouble. The biggest thing is that we're at home, and when we are relatively healthy, we can put up points. But then I flip it and say, I think our defense can win in there. I think our defense can win on the front, and I buy that. Against a running attack that has been one of the best in football. So obviously you slow that down, you're going to change the game. Now it's been the running backs, right? ETN, and then obviously they have Hasty back there and Snoop Connor, but it's coming back to the early emphasis of cornerbacks, everybody containing, keeping things in the pocket, safety. Like everybody's got to help us. And if there's one thing that's great about that is Mike Hughes was fantastic against the run last week. We know Jerry is. Jeff Okuda is very willing against the run. So you kind of have your personnel for that. Like this is weird. It feels like an early season game because both teams are pretty healthy. Get to see Marvin Jones Jr., Jamal Agnew, and Jamal. There you go, Jamal. I don't know if I saw Jamal play that much when I was watching. I know they got the guy. I don't think I saw him very much when I was watching. Yeah, I don't think I saw a ton of him. But they're deep at receiver. Just the fact that you bring that up, and I'm like, oh yeah, Jamal. Like they're deep and they got size, man. Lions switched to 1.5. Or favors now. Okay, I like that. So now it makes me feel better about predicting the dub here. See, look, I appreciate that. Speak easy. But man, Rodriguez playing his feet, shoots across the running backs. He's great. Yeah, Rodriguez had a big time week last week. He's just playing fast. He's playing fast, and there's certain areas where it's like this just makes sense for him. Like this role makes sense for him, and I don't think there's a ton that goes into it. Like, oh, this is your gap. So when they do this, then you go here, and it's like he's perfect for that. I thought Duracell played really well last week too. So they were able to play fast. It always comes down to Aleem and Bugs on the inside. I think an interior that's just And we have our big bodies back. I mean, the biggest question is going to be ETN, the quick hitters, the outside off tackle runs. It's going to be those. Because I don't doubt that our defensive line are going to hold up at the point of attack. I doubt that against two solid tackles and that Travis Etienne just hitting it with you. And it's like the I want to say a counter run, but like, the misdirections. And it's just where they kind of numbers wise put you in a tough spot where they'll single out like, hey, Josh Pascal, now you got to worry about this guy. And that's tough. And I'm sure coming into this, there's going to be some read option there by Trevor Lawrence, which I didn't see a ton of. I did see the RPOs, but I'm sure there'll be some of that in there just because of the fact that they know that they're going to try to put those guys in some tough spots. But the good thing has been how fast they're allowing Rodriguez to play off of that and those guys. Michigan versus TCU at 4 p.m. Oh, they already announced that? I thought this was fake. Okay, ESPN updated me, and they were like, oh, here's the teams. I didn't know they already put that out there. Georgia 1, Michigan 2, 3 TCU, 4 Ohio State. So that's actually like legit. I thought they waited till Tuesday. Okay, they just I guess you don't need to wait. No need to wait. All right, shout out to the truth. Appreciate that. Through JMO on the fantasy starters, crossing my fingers. I know Brown going to have over 5 receptions. Hey, that always feels like a safe bet, man. And then the one time I do it, it doesn't happen. Now Swift appears fully healthy. Do it. According to Campbell, he's kind of saying, yeah, but at the same time, not really. I mean, look, I'm not like, to me, it's not one of those things, man, I got to get him snaps. I don't look at it like that because the other guys have performed. Like if Just Jackson wasn't performing, I'd be like, dude, we got to get this guy out there. Or if Jamal wasn't performing, those guys are playing so well. I'm not in a hurry to take snaps away from those guys. The area where I see Swift is that he brings something a little bit different. He doesn't bring more explosiveness to me than Jackson. It's more of just I think it's more of maybe the vision and open space that he brings. That'd probably be where I'd circle and say that's like for example, the screen. Now that one could have been a touchdown, actually. I look back at Buffalo. But the screen that we ran, like the open space vision that he has to kind of set up guys. But the other guys have played so well, like I'm not in a rush to stop giving them snaps. I feel like they've earned it. Shout out to Justin Jackson. But he probably will. According to Dan Campbell, I would expect that he does. 2 to 3. Geez, okay, Clayton, you going real high on those numbers. I don't know if I feel you with that. But okay, I'm not mad at it. Jaguars O-line is allowing sacks. How many dose by who? Yeah, so like we said, their O-line isn't great. I like what they do offensively, though, and it's not going to make it easy, I think, to get sacks. Let's see. Who's going to eat today? You guys are feeling James Houston after the last week. I say he brings something different. And he could be big because they could play a little different. I would say Austin Bryant gives you 1. I think Austin Bryant's definitely due for 1 after what I saw last week. I got some confidence that guy working the interior. But with who we're missing, I would expect a lot more Hutch on the edge again. I'll go Bryant gives you 1. I mean, like, man, that's tough. Hutch will give a 1. I'll go Hutch gives you 1 too. Hutch will give you 1. McNeil and Bugs, those guys flash too. They're flash. But the biggest thing for the year with Aleem is he's not even that much of a flash player right now. Like Aleem has transformed himself into not being he's not a flash pressure guy. Like it's not, okay, boom, oh, there he was. Did you see that play? Like it's pretty consistent with Aleem. When he lines at a 3-tech, like he's pretty consistently winning quick off the line. So he's kind of gotten himself out of that area of being a flash player, which is awesome. Okay. All the politician works Nick Saban did yesterday, bro. I would have been mad if they would put Bama in there. Bama should not have been in there. Not because I hate Bama or something. Like I don't have an issue with him. I respect Nick Saban. He's a great coach. But it's more so just I'm like, they're not gonna take TCU out, bro. You can't take TCU out after a loss in the championship game. Like that's not right. Plus, I would rather play TCU. I'm gonna be honest. Look, I'd rather play TCU. I'm just saying. I listened to the Kansas State game, and I'm just while working, and I'm like, okay, I'd rather play this team. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, Aleem's been a dog. In every facet, really. He stopped the run. He's dominated when he's had lesser opponents across from him, which is awesome. He has been awesome for us this season. One of my favorites so far this year. And again, Mike Hughes. If we flip it over, Chad, let's do another one. You guys were giving me a lot of names there. You guys threw in some defense, but give me a second player to watch. If you put offense, put defense, put defense, put offense, and then I'll give you guys a score. Defensively, give me one player. Let's see. Who do we want to go with here? One player. Give me a player that you think stands out. Give us that player that you think stands out MVP wise. I'm gonna give you a defensive one. I'm gonna say Deshaun Elliott. Today. I think today's his day, man. Score. I'm always so bad with scores, though. Like this is where, and chat, we're about 15 minutes out from game time, so we're gonna wrap this up soon here. Hutch, Rodrigo, what score do we want to do? I'm terrible with these, man. I feel like, and I haven't done enough Jaguar stuff to feel really good about a number here. Well, we're winning. We know this. So the score then. At home, I always feel like I'm underdoing it, man. At home, let's do this. Chat, I'm struggling, bro. I gotta hit a score. Oh, no, Jeff Okuda, Jerry Jacobs. I gotta wear my Jerry Jacobs shirt, man. I should be wearing that right now. I don't know what this is. I'm sorry. I don't know what we're doing. Josh Pascal. I was about to say that, my man. KVOto. Seriously, that was about to come out of my mouth. Was Josh P. Appreciate you coming in, man. Appreciate the 20. Look, let's go 28. Let's go 28. I don't love their third down defense. Let's go 28 points. We score 28, 4 touchdowns. Somehow we'll get 28. And let's say Jags 21. No, I don't like 28-20. I don't like that. We can't have no field. 28-20. Boom. All right. That was awful. It's not going to happen. What's the rookie? Appreciate you. What's the rookie safety name? He going to get a pick. That is Kirby Joseph, man. And there's been some Kirbys in here. You see my man right here. Put that Kirby Joseph in there. We see you, Elijah. What's up, man? How you doing, man? Kirby Joseph, 28-24, 28-14. I love it, man. I love the energy. Y'all came with it, man. We're going to wrap this stream. We got about 15 minutes till game time, so I'm going to switch over. We're going to be live here at 1 o'clock for the game. So just as I end this stream, just like wait till 1 and then join the new one, okay? And we'll be live for this game. Appreciate you all coming in, man, for this pregame show. Sorry it was a little bit shorter than usual. Scheduling kind of hurt me this week, but I plan on coming back. I know we didn't get to do a normal preview, so I just want to at least talk a little bit about what's going on here. And we'll see. How much JMO do we see today? I don't know. The over-under is 6 snaps. That's our over-under that we made up. All right. Appreciate you guys coming in, and I'll see you in about 15 minutes. We out. And shout out to the Jags fan. I don't know if there's any Jags fans in here, but I appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of new faces, a lot of new names in the building. The love is great. Here we go. And by the way, I'm making a new cutscene commercial thing. I'm definitely making a new one of those. I had a good idea, so it's coming soon.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.